So this story really came to me as quite the surprise. A Arab Palestinian that participated in the October 7th attack, as you can see in this picture here, circled, has been arrested in not Gaza, not Judea and Samaria, America. That's right, this is Mahmoud Amin Yaqub al-Mutadi. He assembled an armed team to join the invasion of Israel at Hamas's behest. He lied on his visa application, and that's how he managed to get in. Let me explain to you the story as reported by the Times of Israel, because this is wild. A Palestinian man who entered America illegally has been arrested for participating in the October 7th terrorist invasion of Israel, according to a criminal complaint released on Thursday. Federal prosecutors said that Mahmoud Amin Yaqub al-Mutadi, 33, assembled a team of armed terrorists, crossed into Israel to join the attack at the behest of Hamas, and later lied on his visa application to enter the US. He was arrested earlier this month in Lafayette, Louisiana, where he had been living after entering America in September 2024. He's being held in a jail in the area. How he got in there, how he managed to get past American border control, unbelievable. He's a member of Gaza-based terror group, the Democratic Front for the Liberation of Palestine and the National Resistance Brigades, according to a criminal complaint filed by an FBI agent earlier this month. The complainant was unsealed on Thursday at the order of a federal judge. The criminal charges were partially based on information provided to the US by Israel. On the morning of October 7th, members of Hamas's Nukba unit led the invasion. Around an hour later, Hamas leader Mohammed Deif announced the operation and invited the masses to join the attack, telling them to kill Israelis wherever you overtake them. Quote, everyone who has a rifle, take it out, as now is the time. And whoever doesn't have a rifle, take out your machete, your axe, your hatchet, Deif said in a statement, according to a complaint. Now, I'm going to tell you more about specifically what this man over here did on October 7th, but before I show you that, a really important message. Before we continue, I want to quickly share a really important message. Now that a ceasefire is in place, some people might think that Israel's pain is over, but anyone who's been following what's really happening knows it is not. The toll that this war has taken on Israel's economy, on families, on ordinary people just trying to get by is enormous. That's where Leket Israel, the National Food Bank, comes in. Leket rescues surplus, nutritious food, fresh produce from farmers, and hot meals from hotels, corporate cafeterias, even IDF bases, and delivers them to Israelis who can't afford a proper meal. Every week, they are feeding 415,000 people, including Holocaust survivors, soldiers, families, and children who should never have to go hungry. Even now, requests for help keep pouring in. Families who never thought they'd need food assistance suddenly do. If you've ever asked yourself, how can I really help Israel right now? This is one of the most meaningful ways. Just $180 provides 120 meals. So if you want to support, please just click the link below in the video description and stand with Leket Israel, helping feed the people who have given so much for the country that we all care about. So now let me tell you more about what he did on this specific day. Mutadi found out about the attack at 6:34 a.m. on social media, minutes after the invasion. At 8:12 a.m., shortly after Deif's announcement, he told others he would join the attack. Referring to Deif's message, he coordinated a group of terrorists to join him. By 9:33 a.m., his group had crossed the border, and around 30 minutes later, his cell phone connected to a service tower near Kibbutz Kfar Aza indicated he was inside Israel. Kfar Aza was one of the communities hit hardest in the onslaught. During the attack, some 250 terrorists swarmed the unsuspecting community of around 950 residents. The attackers took over the village in an hour, killing 62 residents and 18 security personnel and taking 19 civilians hostage. The Democratic Front for the Liberation of Palestine is an offshoot of the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. The latter's military wing, the National Resistance Brigade, has participated in dozens of terrorist attacks, including the 1974 Ma'alot massacre that killed more than 20 children. The group coordinates with Hamas, openly participated on the October 7th attack, posting online that its members had crossed into Israel. The day after, the group said its fighters had attacked Kfar Aza, Be'eri, and Kisufim. By the way, I've actually got an interview coming out very soon with an IDF soldier that was deployed to Kfar Aza on October 7th, and his story is harrowing and heroic in equal measure. And that's coming out soon. But investigators found messages on Muhtadi's phone showing himself holding weapons and wearing an NRB headband. Muhtadi also sent images of a document showing that he had a weapon and ammunition that were property of the National Resistance Brigades, and sent photos of himself with other armed RNB members. In the messages, he referred to the group as his young men, indicating that he was a senior figure in the group, prosecutors said. He also boasted about attacking a military outpost in Israel in 2021, saying in a message, "I swear by God, we burned them." Investigators recovered recorded phone calls from October 7th, in which Muhtadi referred to the attack, discussing Israelis celebrating the Simchat Torah holiday, which he referred to as the Jewish version of Eid, a Muslim holiday. Quote, "They still haven't awakened from the shock," he said, referring to Israelis. "They are still drunk because it's the last day of their Eid." In the calls, Muhtadi discussed his knowledge of the attack, his intention to join, his efforts to gather other attackers and weapons, and crossing the border into Israel, according to the complaint. "There are lots of soldiers who have been kidnapped. Yes, it's taking place down there," he said. "Yes, there's a kidnapping and it's a game, which will be a good one," he said, adding he hoped the hostages would lead to ceasefire negotiations, which, by the way, shows you exactly the way they think. He expressed hope that Syria and Lebanon would join the war and that it would become a third world war. "That will be perfect," he said. Of course, it didn't go that way for him. He also told his followers to bring the rifles, ammunition magazines, and a bulletproof vest, and that he had a full car ready to cross into Israel. He told another group member to get ready and that the borders are open. In a later call, he said he was inside Israel and told other attackers to turn their phones off. The complaint did not say if Muhtadi had killed anyone. In June 24, Muhtadi submitted an immigrant visa application to the US Department of State. On the form, he said he was born in Gaza in 1991, lived in Gaza until March 2024, and resided in Cairo, Egypt, where he filled out the application. In the sworn statement, he said he did not have any weapons training, had never been in a militant group, had no ties to terrorist groups, and had not participated in acts of violence. He met with a consular official in the US Embassy in Cairo in August 2024, where he swore to the accuracy of his visa application and provided fingerprints and photographs of himself. He arrived in Dallas, Texas in September 2024, saying he planned to move to Tulsa, Oklahoma to work in car repairs or food services. He obtained an Oklahoma driver's license. He later posted a photo on social media, showed himself wearing a keffiyeh and loading a handgun. Other photos showed his children posing with the weapon. The Israeli government alerted the US to Muhtadi's participation in the attack in May 2025. The following month, FBI agents found him in Louisiana working at a restaurant and began to monitor him. Federal prosecutors charged him with supporting a terrorist organization and visa fraud in the federal US Western District Court of Louisiana. Louisiana jail records show that Muhtadi was being held in the St. Martin Parish Sheriff's Office jail outside Lafayette. Now, there's so many things to take from this. First of all, this guy just abandoned his fellow Gazans. Interesting. Secondly, I'm trying to understand, how did America not have a more rigorous border security protocol to prevent this kind of thing from happening? And the third thing that I take from this, above all, is, this just shows how important Israeli intelligence is for American security. Unbelievable. Who knows? This is probably just the tip of the iceberg of what Israel is giving America in intelligence. Don't forget, we learned from the Lebanon, Hezbollah, and Iran attacks that Mossad is planted deep within these enemy terror states or terror organizations. So the case that, it's all one way and everything is obviously utterly ridiculous. So it's so important that we learn the lessons from these shocking incidents. But this just in and of itself, I think, is deeply concerning and shows that it's representative of a wider problem that the West simply doesn't have enough of a handle, it seems, in my mind, on the security threats in their midst. Before we wrap up, I want to share something important with you. The entire anti-Israel movement is built on one central accusation, that in 1948, Israel stole the land, and ever since, Palestinians have simply been resisting. But what if everything we've been told about this story is untrue? What if the real history of 1948 shows not Arabs being forced out, but Jews, while seeking peace, having to fight for their survival against a genocidal enemy that willed its destruction long before Israel's re-establishment? Have a watch of the trailer for our new, groundbreaking and essential documentary entitled What Really Happened in 1948. And if you want to see the full film, just click the link in the video description. In 1948, the world witnessed the rebirth of the Jewish state, the State of Israel. A moment celebrated as a miracle of survival and self-determination after centuries of persecution and the horrors of the Holocaust. Yet for decades, this event has been twisted into a narrative of theft and catastrophe, with the so-called Nakba portrayed as Israel's original sin, where Jews allegedly stole Arab land and displaced innocents in a premeditated act of ethnic cleansing. But what if this story is fundamentally inverted? What if the cause and effect are the other way around? Not Israel aggressively seizing territory and Arabs responding in self-defense, but Arabs, driven by deep-seated hatred, rejecting the Jews' legal and historical rights to live in their ancestral homeland and waging a genocidal war long before Israel's re-establishment. In this JTV Plus documentary, we're going to uncover the unvarnished truth about 1948, the centuries of pogroms and anti-Semitic violence that set the stage, the Arab leaders' explicit calls for extermination, and the defensive war Israel fought to secure its existence. We'll challenge the pervasive lies head-on, showing how Arab rejection of peace wasn't about creating a Palestinian state, but about denying Jews the right to live at all. From the Nazi-allied leader of the Arabs in Palestine, the Mufti al-Husseini, to the forgotten occupations by Jordan and Egypt, where no Palestinian state was even considered, this is the story of a conflict rooted not in displacement, but in whether the Jews deserve to live in their homeland. Join us as we debunk the myths with facts, confront the historical record fairly but firmly, and reveal why 1948 was not an act of aggression, but a righteous response to annihilation. This is what really happened in 1948. To watch this JTV Plus documentary and access much more premium content, click on the link in the video description.